important they are as far as where you're going. I think we see the players play at that level and the complementary football and the fight that they had and stepping up to make plays on both sides of the football when you have to. Um, that's the dream. That's team football, man. And it wasn't pretty for sure. Played a really good defense, but made the plays when we had to. There's definitely some we left out there, but I got in the locker room. I just told the guys, that's the guys I know. That's the fight that I saw all the way back in August and in spring, and just seeing it come to life today. And last thing I told them was, job not done. We're still rolling.
Thanks, Coach. Go, Coach Womack.
Yeah, great fight by our football team. When you're down 17-0, the way that you have to protect your sideline, the energy to go on a 34-7 run after being down 17-0. That's what we're trying to build this team on. You think back on where we have gone, and you think about a year ago not being able to answer the bell and not punch back, and now I think all our kids do is they fight, they punch, and they just keep punching, and that's the only way you come back from a 17-0 game like that. You play great team football, you play complementary football, love the energy and juice. Our sideline is a living, breathing organism, and our guys are doing a great job of putting themselves in position. Great football teams get better, and this is the time, right? You just continue to work and strive. But that was a good team win that we just had right there.
Thank you, coaches. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll try to get it to you. We got two questions right in the front. Let's start with Charlie and then Chase.
Just for Coach Womack, what kind of momentum shift is that Big Six from Xavier?
About like all momentum shifts from a pick six come. I mean, when you can not only flip the field but then score in that situation, really awesome. And I mean, I thought our offense was ready to answer the bell. They answered the bell in just critical times. I mean, when you're down like that, to get something going, the pressure that you think about what they were bringing, and they credit them. They had a really good plan early on coming into this game. They changed tendency at pretty much every first, second, third down, and our players did a really good job of just adjusting. We saw something that we thought that we could get them and bait them into it. We had showed a little bit of zero pressure, and then all of a sudden we baited to a drop 8 cover 2, and Xavier made a hell of a play.
Chase, go ahead.
For Coach Grubb, I understand you were back in the booth after a couple of games on the sideline. Can you just speak to that change back?
Yeah, Coach Shepard is obviously at Oregon State now, and so Tyler Hughes, one of our senior analysts, is coaching the receivers. That's a big job on the sideline, getting the right guys in the game. So with his eyes not up in the box for me, and Coach Down wasn't here. He's been at Oregon State, so haven't had him all week. So I just felt like just to be accurate and make sure I got the things I needed from the sky. And, normally I have a couple guys up there giving me information. I feel really good about that, but didn't have that exact scenario. So just felt like it was the prudent thing to do, be up there and make sure I got good pictures.
Let's go to the far left side of the room to Katie.
Coach Grubb, just what did you see from Latsier tonight stepping up? Just really the whole game as a freshman, but especially that first third down conversion of the game that was y'all's first down, just kind of how he stepped up tonight.
Well, not to like TMI here, but I saw Herb Street in the bathroom at halftime, and he was like, "Man, you were right. Brooks is the guy," And I just had a feeling. I had said before the game that I felt like Latsier was in a position in this game plan to step up. And we see it every week from 17, just on the practice field. We got a really talented room with him and Ryan and Isaiah and Germ, but just those are the plays we needed to have from all those guys. And I don't think there's anybody on that sideline that was surprised a bit that 17 made those plays. He's a stud.
Okay, we got three questions from the right side. Let's start with Nick first.
That question for Kane. Obviously, that was an offense you guys limited somewhat in the first game, and then they storm out to a fast start. What is the message on the sideline for those guys? How to make sure they don't get freaked out by that?
Well, I think we talked about it before the game. There was going to be wrinkles. There were going to be things that they did. And I thought they had a great plan early on. I thought the quarterback played out of his mind in the first half. He was dialed in, did a really good job. We didn't affect him early enough from a pass rush standpoint, and then we started affecting them, and it drastically changed the outcome of the game. And so, just finding ways to just settle in. Let's see what their pictures are. Let's see what their game plan is, what they're going to do, and then being ready to adjust whichever way we needed to. We haven't played a lot of man coverage this year, but that was what we needed to do to win the game, and our DBs were begging for it. I mean, by the time we got to the second half, I mean, they wanted it, and that's what you want, right? You want kids that are fighters, that want the ball in their court. They want to be challenged. They want to go challenge people. and our players won this game. They won the game with sheer will.
Let's go to Colin next on the right side.
Hey, Brian, what did you see from Jam, whether it was as a runner or maybe even in pass protection?
Jam did a good job. We tried to keep his reps down a little bit. Him and Daniel obviously shared the load back there tonight, and I thought he did a good job when he was in. He's still, nursing back to health a little bit, but he's a soldier, man. He was out there battling. I thought he did a good job.
Going to Matt now.
Ryan, was it something that you changed there toward the end of the first half that let things maybe get more of a foothold, or was it just execution got better?
I think there's the ebb and flow of every game, and certainly there were some looks that we had gotten to that I knew we had to be able to come back to in a different way, and made sure they were in the same coverage structure to be able to go after it. And the guys did a good job executing that. So I think there's obviously Coach Venables does a great job of presenting a lot of different pictures. And so I think getting the guys in a position where they could formationally feel familiar with what was going on out there gave Ty a little bit of freedom. And then I thought, they do as good a job as anybody putting pressure on your quarterback. And I thought it wasn't perfect. I know we gave up sacks, but there were some critical moments that we had some really big pickups.
Let's go to Alex on the front left.
Coach, just can you tell me what you've seen from Josh these last few weeks fighting to get back, and then what he gave you tonight?
Unreal. Awesome. Josh Cuevas he's one of the toughest kids I've ever seen play football, mentally, physically. To be able to do what he did tonight is absolutely unbelievable. People that are a little bit older remember Terrell Owens coming back and playing in a Super Bowl with a broken foot. I think he had a spiral fracture. And you think about those kind of stories with a guy like Josh, and we didn't think there was any way he was going to play, and he just kept saying he was going to find a way. And the doctors, and Jeff do an incredible job, and they got him back out on the field. And he's just, his mindset and his perseverance is special. It's really rare.
Go to Joe, second row on the right.
Question for both coaches. Over here, Ryan.
Right here, second row.
There you are.
Why is playoff football so different than regular season?
Well, I think there's obviously a finality to it. Certainly you're back against the wall mentality. I think everything feels a little bit more on edge. So I think there's, as much as you'd love the week 2 game to be just as important or as much intensity, I think sometimes when you have that mentality, it's win or go home. I think that certainly that puts some different value on the game, I guess.
I mean, I think we have been playing like a winner go home mentality all season long. It's a mentality thing as much as anything. You think about where we were coming out of the Florida State game. These players have had a supreme urgency to get themselves better every single week. And that's great teams just get better. They just take little steps to go out on a Tuesday practice and go out and prepare. I thought our guys, they prepared with the same level of dedication that they've been preparing for all season long, and it put us in a position to go fight and win the game. But the cool thing about the playoffs, I mean, we didn't come here to win the first round of the playoffs. We're going to enjoy the hell out of this. We're going to celebrate it with our players. We're going to talk to them and praise the things that they did well. But we got to correct the things that we didn't do well enough as well as we move into the second round. So great job by our guys, but this is not the end for us.
Got 2 more questions, starting with the back right room.
For both of you, I mean, down 17-0, no one outside of the building thinks you guys have a chance. Why was this team able to pull that off today?
I would credit, unfortunately, a little bit of the SEC championship. There was an address made, just with the guys, the mentality that you have to have in a football game, that games aren't over when it's 14-0, especially when you're getting the ball in the second half. And I didn't feel the same resolve in Atlanta that I felt here tonight. I didn't feel like the guys were, even when it was 17-0, talking to Ty on the headset, getting with some of the coaches, I felt like there was a belief that, the defense was going to make a play. We were going to make a play, and nobody was giving up. And, ultimately something happens and springs it loose. And that's what it really takes, is to keep that momentum and that mindset. Somebody has to make a play eventually. And when you do, and you have a big play, it brings it all to life.
Yeah, you don't win those games without great culture. You have a great team culture. You got a bunch of fighters, a bunch of punchers. That wasn't who we were a year ago. We learned how to do that. We fought to do that. We prepared in the offseason. Dave Ballou and our fourth quarter program, and Jeff Allen getting players back. Our players, our leaders stepping up in those moments. We've learned how to fight, and so now we have a culture of fighters. And that starts with our head coach. who's a puncher, and it just rubs off on the rest of our coaching staff and our players, and that's how you win games like that.
Finish up with Joe, right front and middle.
Coach Grove, can you talk about the utilization of different offensive linemen tonight? Whether it was seeing Jaden Roberts for the first time in quite some time, and obviously you've been mixing in Gino Vandermark, just the mixing of the offensive line still, and to be able to have a performance like this.
Well, really, the starting lineup's the starting lineup, with Michael at right tackle and Wilkin at right guard, and really it was more of just keeping guys healthy and keeping them fresh. So just giving the guys a blow there for a series. Got J Rob in there. And then Dew and Gino have been rotating a little bit for quite a while. And a little bit of that's, Dewberry's foot, just trying to make sure he's okay. And Gino's banged up as well. So those two older guys is like 0.5 and 0.5, and they make one guy. But they did a good job.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thanks, guys. Roll
Thanks.
Tide.
Roll Tide.
We'll be joined next with Coach Kalen DeBoer. He'll be along with Ty Simpson and Deontay Lawson. Yes, we'll have other players will be Lottie, Keon Sav, Xavier Brown.
Keon Sav and Xavier Brown.
up front, you come down, please.
Second.
Just a touch more, please.
Okay. They cut me off in front of me, so I moved. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
You said it ahead of time. You're gonna shoot it. Okay. Put that in. That's your left. Oh,
All right, we're joined by head coach Taylor DeBoer, Ty Simpson, and Deontay Lawson. We're going to have Coach make his opening statement. Then we'll take questions for the players first so we can get them out of there, and then questions for Coach. Coach DeBoer, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, just couldn't be more proud of these guys. The resiliency. It's been kind of a theme all season long, but showed up tonight in a big way on the road, down 17, and coming back the way we did, just one score at a time, and just really stayed the course. Didn't each side of the ball had their moments and big plays, and we just kept plugging away. But it's last night we talked about it being a team that's going to have to come out here and play together, and that's exactly what I saw tonight. And so, could be more proud of these guys.
Thanks, Coach. Let's take questions for Ty or Deontay first. Let's start on the right side with Nick right here.
Yeah, Ty, that first touchdown drive when you scored the 4th and 2, what was your message and kind of mentality at that point in the game?
Keep going. That's kind of been our message all season. Situational football, right? Like, I mean, there's probably a number of times where we've been in that situation before. Just kind of did what we do, right? Like I knew my read, knew what was going on. We got really good players, so Latsier made a really good play, and he scored. So it's kind of what happened.
Let's go to Colin next.
Hey, Deontay, kind of in a similar vein, but that y'all were down or up 3, backed up against your goal line. What was kind of the message for the defense to kind of stand tall and keep Oklahoma kind of back there?
Yeah, we knew we had to be aggressive in that moment. We just wanted to get, the best field position for our offense, force a punt right there. Yeah, that was really the main message. Just be aggressive and just keep doing our job.
Go to the far left of the room to Katie.
For both players, Coach Grubb just said he feels like what happened in the SEC championship game helped y'all come back tonight, and he kind of saw a different resolve in the team tonight. Do you feel the same way that what happened in the last time out kind of helped tonight?
Ty, you start with that.
Yeah, I guess we can thank you guys for that. I mean, y'all kind of wrote us off, in a sort of way. So appreciate that.
Deontay, go ahead.
I mean, Ty just said it right there. Honestly, he just said it. People try to write us off. That's when we at our best.
Let's go to Tony on the right side.
How big was the catch by Lottie Brooks on that 3rd down, I guess, on the first scoring drive? And just when you have receivers that make plays like that, how much confidence does it give you?
I mean, those guys have been doing that all year. So, I expect them to make, plays like that. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. We have about, 85 scholarship players who are big-time players. So that's what happens. And, Jerm made a great play. And Latsier made a great play. I mean, there was just a number of plays out there, so not just one.
Let's go to Trevor in the back right.
Ty, you mentioned people in this room have been doubting you. How does it feel to silence the doubters and do it coming back from down 17-0 like you guys did today?
What did Kobe say? We're not done yet. That's all I gotta say.
Let's go to Matt on the far right here.
Yeah, for both of y'all, did you expect 50 Cent to show up, and what was that moment like for y'all on the sideline?
Deontay wants to start with that.
No, we didn't expect 50 Cent to show up, but crazy thing about that is we always listen to Mini Man on Friday, so we definitely got some juice right there for sure.
You want to follow up?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know that was 50 Cent until later. But I did know that song, so.
And I didn't know it was live.
Yeah.
Let's go to Hunter right in the middle of the room.
Yeah, for both players, was there
I
a
didn't even
moment in the game where you guys knew that you guys were going to make a comeback and then you had them?
Man, I just think we're a resilient team, and even though we were down 17-0, we didn't really look at the scoreboard. We know Coach DeBoer always say, keep playing. The game will come back to you. So that's been our mindset all year. And, we know we're a resilient bunch, and, we just going to keep fighting.
Yeah, there wasn't a doubt in my mind at all. I mean, the guys that we have, the players, the coaches, like 17 nothing's. I mean, it's nothing to us. Give us the ball, we'll go down, do what we do. Give them the ball, they'll go down and do what they do. That's all.
All right, thanks, guys. Players are dismissed.
Roll
This
Tide.
time, if you have a question for Coach, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. You can start right here in the front, right with Chase.
Coach, I want to bring you back to third quarter. You're up 7. You got a 4th and 6, and you kick a field goal there to go up 10 with Talty. Y'all have been aggressive on 4th down all year. Was there any thought there to going for that 4th and 6, or was it an easy choice to get the 3 points and go up 10?
No, that's a good question. I think to go up 10, make it a 2-score game, give us that cushion there. Felt like we were in a good field goal range, and just outside of probably 6 yards, 7 yards, a lot of different things they can dial up. But we went for it earlier, and that was in 2-3, I think in the first quarter or second quarter, and that was probably a little different situation, especially when you got your backs to the wall. But when we got the lead, taking a 2-score lead, that was actually a pretty easy decision on that one.
A season ago, there were times where you guys would get down and not be able to bounce back, specifically here even.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think prepared your guys to be able to bounce back in this game tonight?
Mm-hmm. No, you're exactly right. Especially on the road, right? We couldn't overcome, and a lot of times it's just guys making plays and just continue to stay the course. And we just talked about that so much this off season. A couple of things, just what we're going to do and how you chip away. You can't go score a 17-point touchdown. You got to score one score, even if it's 3 points. And that's what our guys did. I really felt, and I know ZB got the interception right before the half. That was big, but I was actually feeling really good about the spot we were in before that. If we can go in 17-10 and get the ball to start the third quarter, we've clawed our way back in. It's going to be one that goes down to the wire. And then the interception really just, it gave us a lot of life going to the locker room at halftime. And so we fed off that, and guys, I think realized like 0-0 game, and just went out there and just kept applying more pressure. And the field position really in the second half, or as this game went on, kind of flipped from what it was in the first quarter, where we couldn't move the ball. They got shorter fields, and then we finally got the punt, the block there, and that kind of got the shorter field kind of thing going for us, and that carried on to the second half, which helped us a lot.
We got 2 questions from the right. Start with Colin, then Tony.
You clearly saw, a very, very confident Ty Simpson, and there's been, talk of his struggles and if he's hurt and things like that going into this game. What did you see out of him, especially in that second half to kind of, I guess, lead that resurgence for you guys?
I saw a guy committed to just bringing energy, and your quarterback's so important. And obviously with Ty and our success revolving around what he can do, he committed to it last night, and said it to the whole team, that I'm just going to give you everything I got from an energy standpoint. And I think that just led to him going out there and making some plays. Him pulling on the ball on some times when you could just hand it off, a little bit of the RPO stuff. Him doing that in some critical moments, it was really great to see him do that. And then our guys go make some plays for him was the second part of it. Something that when we're struggling, just someone not stepping up. I felt like they did that in the first quarter. They made some diving catches and along the sideline, and we were just, coming up short. But guys started making plays for him. He started having confidence in them, and they found a way to move the ball.
Ty talked about being fueled by the doubt and some of the naysayers here. Just how do you feel yourself off the momentum, and how do you capitalize, maybe just bottle this right here that you have after this game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no question. the doubt piece. There's enough confidence within our group to where we just can't. We can see the doubters. We can see the naysayers, and just go still play our game. And this group is tight enough to where there's never been any finger pointing. There's never been anything like that. I think Deontay said it, really, really well. We always talk about the game's going to come back to us. We have too many good players, and if you just keep fighting, you're gonna force them to make a mistake. Something's going to happen, and just keep coming after them, play after play, and the game's going to come back to you. And that's what happened tonight. The game came back to us, and all of a sudden we found opportunities where we could attack and go take advantage, and then more plays being made. So this was hopefully something we can really build off of, get into, the next 2 weeks now, again, putting a good game plan together, get a chance to go on the road, go out West and play in the Rose Bowl.
Go Charlie right in front.
How big were special teams tonight? Last time you guys played, obviously that was something, but you guys flipped the script this time around. How big was it, especially in the second half?
Really big. The punt early in the game, and obviously Talty making his field goals. Windy, it was kind of swirling. You stand on one end, it's going one way. It kind of gets inside the stadium, goes the other. Just didn't really feel like he was affected by it, and really proud of him, the way he's continued to just stay the course, get the team to, support him by just continuing to work. And the guys have done that. Again, no finger pointing ever, and just love it. Love the way these guys come together. So we know there's going to be more battles ahead. There's more great teams out there. It's going to be the next one against Indiana. We know that they're a special team, and they got a special season going, and so it'll be a great challenge for us.
Go Katie on the far left.
Latsier had his first 2 touchdowns of the season tonight. Just kind of have you seen him all year grow into a role in the offense as a true freshman, and then really step up tonight in big moments?
Those are his first 2 total. Yeah, the guy, he's got twitch. He's got the ability to separate, and then he's really good with the ball in his hands. And so I think you saw a little bit of all that happen, whether it would be on third down, there in the first half, the touchdowns, winning before you catch the ball, and the other one winning after you have the ball in your hands. And so love the energy he brings. He's pretty loose, easy going, and sometimes I make sure I got to reel him in a little bit. But man, that's when he's at his best. So, just let him be who he is, kind of figuring out your players as you go through the season. He came out and had a great game, and, you can see him and Ty really connecting and being on the same page.
Let's go Jim standing up in the back.
Can you, back here, Coach, back here. Can you take me to that timeout you used right before ZB's interception? Were you trying to lure them into a pass there to try to get that turnover? That was an aggressive timeout for you. You only had one left.
Yeah, we had one more. Was it a second down? It was second down. And so just really, if you can try to, if they want to be aggressive and you can get an incomplete pass, we can get one more shot. Again, you've seen us go down the field at the end of a half and try to get 3 points, 7 points, make them have to punt it, especially with what had happened earlier. You can go after them and just keep applying pressure, make them snap it again. And just felt like where we were at in the field. I know they got a really good field goal kicker, but they weren't far from being in his range either. But that's just how we've kind of played, and you're not reckless, but you also want to be aggressive.
Standing up in the back right, Trevor.
Coach, down 17-0, what's the vibe on the sideline? What's the vibe on the headset? What were you guys saying to each other in that moment?
Ty seemed pretty confident. But I think it just goes back to that. I know what I was echoing and trying to get guys to believe in is just one score, just get one score. And, you make it even a 10-point game going to the half, and then you just get one more in the third quarter, make it a 1-score game or just chip away. A year ago when we were in this very place, that's what we had said. We were down, I think, 21 points at one point. And, we just said, hey, if we can get 7 points on the board by the end of the third quarter, and we had an opportunity there right at the beginning of the fourth, a play that wasn't called a touchdown, but, we just knew that just get one. And those are things in the offseason we've talked about, like, what do you do when you're in that spot? And just chip away, just put a pressure on them. you know, even at the end, it flips the other way, right? I mean, they got their opportunities too. You just want to put the game away, but there's two good teams going at each other, and so that was our mindset. Just play the next play, get some points on the board, and just keep coming after them. There's a whole half of football. It's the games can go fast, but it's a long game. There's a lot of plays. There's a lot of momentum swings that are going to happen, and our guys were just steady through it all.
Okay, we only have time for a few more questions. On the left side.
Yeah, Kalen. Coach Grubb said that there was an address either during or after the Georgia game, the SEC championship game, about getting away from you. Can you explain what that was, and how did the SEC championship performance impact you guys today when you were down 17?
What was the first part you said? There was
Coach Grubb said it was an address of some kind, either during or after that game, about how that went and how that carried over into this game.
Yeah, I mean, what's done is done, and once we got into the playoffs, this was our opportunity, right? That we wanted that game. We want to win an SEC championship. What was behind us, it wasn't anything we could control anymore. But greatness lies in the future, and so that's what we really focus on. And in having a couple of weeks, and we knew we'd get some of these guys back and healthy, and that was key, I think, for us to feel that we can become the team that we know we're capable of. And so don't overthink it. It's a lot of guys doing a little bit better in everything that they can control, and when that happens, that's really what happened even during the game tonight. Everyone just did a little bit better, and everyone then all of a sudden, because of the players you have, they go make a play and change a game. And so just everyone kind of owning their space, owning the issues that we had in the past, correcting it, and just being all in. That was a message here the last couple of days, just being all in. And so that was really the case, since that game 2 weeks ago.
Okay, right behind the Blake.
Yeah, the block punt from Tim Keenan in the second quarter. Just what did that do momentum wise for you guys? And were y'all going after it? What kind of play did Keenan make on it?
Yeah, we weren't going after it. I think it's just we were in pretty much a conservative situation there, and so just Wade it got dropped, and he picked up the ball. I mean, the field position against an Oklahoma team is so critical with their defense. So that was huge. That was really huge for us. And the takeaways and the field position just really kind of was the opposite of the first game back at home. There's more things we can point to as well, but that was the case. We got the interception for a touchdown, and we got the shorter field there in that case, and took advantage of it.
Okay, we'll finish up with Matt on the far right.
Has Ty been doing anything different ball security wise? It seems like he's been doing a better job not fumbling when he gets sacked.
Just being really conscious of it. We're just talking about that all the time, and all of our guys. But again, I mean, the ball was out a couple times tonight, and we just gotta. It's something you can just not take for granted ever, and how important it is. And sometimes he's in those, but he knows he's got to take care of the football, and that's a priority for our football team. It has been all season, and it was good to see him. I know he got hit a few times, but he took care of it, and that first and foremost was what he needed to do.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We'll be joined by Lazio Brooks, Keon Sabb, and Xavier Brown here shortly.